The story starts with a boy named Nick. He rent a house for himself and moved in as a paying guest. When he was sitting in his room, there was a girl downstairs who wanted to see him. She was the daughter of his landlord. All she wanted was to have a glimpse of him, but she couldn't. Next day when he was washing his car, that girl comes to see him. That was the first time when they both talked to each other. At night, when he was working at his computer, she comes to see him again. She talked to Nick in such a romantic way that he feels really uncomfortable with her. She sat really close to him and they both kept talking for a really long time. One day there was a party at their house, and Addie was playing a piano over there. When Nick reaches there, he gets really impressed just by looking at her. Then they go out and start talking with each other. Nick says, "You know, if you were 10 years older, then I would love to take you out for dinner." Then she starts smiling and says, "You don't like me much, do you?" Nick says, "Yes, I really do like you. Why would you say that?" Then she says, "So take me for a drive." After a while, Nick takes her near a lake. There, they both spend really good time with each other, and Addie gets quite emotional after talking for a while. Then she slowly comes close to Nick and kisses him. Even Nick kisses her for a while, but all of a sudden, he stops kissing her. Then he says, "It's getting late, let's go home." Then they both leave. Next day a girl comes to see Nick. When Addie sees her, she gets really upset just by looking both of them together. After a while, she goes after her to talk to her. All she wanted to know, that who is she to Nick, what kind of relationship do they have. Addie was feeling really insecure about her relationship with Nick, that's why she talks in an awkward tone with her. Next day, she talks to Nick about Addie's behavior. She says, "Nick, I know Addie has a crush on you." Nick says, "No, she doesn't, she just liked me as a friend." Then she says, "I am not stupid, I know what I felt, I have seen an obsession in her eyes for you." Nick leaves without saying a word. One day his grandpa photos gets missing from his room. He thought, maybe Addie has taken that photo when he wasn't home. That's why he goes to her room just to talk to her about it. But she wasn't there. He starts looking for that photo by himself. Then he hears a voice. Nick peeks through a door and sees that Addie is coming to her room from the bathroom. He quickly hides in the closet. When she was changing in front of the closet, then he accidentally hit his head into something. She heard that noise. She knew someone is in the closet and that someone would definitely be Nick. She didn't want to embarrass him, so she just goes to the bathroom and closed the door. After that, Nick comes out and quickly goes out of her home. Few days later, he goes to Addie and says, "Look, you are a nice girl and I really like you too. But I don't love you, so whatever you are doing to impress me, please don't do it anymore. I really don't like the way you talk to me all the time." After hearing this, Addie says, "If you don't love me, then why were you staring at me by hiding in my closet that day?" Nick gets really shocked and leaves right away. He had no idea how come she knows about it. One day, a friend of Addie comes to see him and says, "I want to talk to you about Addie. Meet me at the park in the evening." But somehow she finds out about her friend's motive, that she is going to say something about me to Nick. That's why she pushed her friend to the ground while horse riding and goes to see Nick by herself. She says, "Now you are spending time with my friend behind my back." He says, "No, I'm not doing such a thing, they're nothing like that." Addie says, "If you really want to see her, then you should go to the hospital," and then she leaves. She was so angry that she goes to Nick's girlfriend and asks her, "Have you ever went out with Nick near the lake, where couple mostly kiss each other?" She says, "No, he never takes me out at such places." Addie says, "But I have. Nick and I really enjoyed our evening there, and he also kissed me there when we were alone." When he finds out about what Addie said to his girlfriend, he doesn't talk to her for almost a week. Addie gets really mad because of this. That's why she goes into his room and deletes everything from his computer. When Nick comes home and finds out what she has done, he gets frustrated. When he looks around, he finds a disc on the floor. When he removes the carpet, there he finds a hidden basement beneath his room. He was really shocked to know that there are his poster and photos everywhere on the walls of that room. He knew it's Addie doing. She is the one who is coming through this basement, stealing his stuff from the room and hiding it in here. He also find his stolen grandpa photo, what he was searching for months. Nick was so mad at her that he doesn't even pick her calls. She called him more than 100 times. Even then, he didn't talk to her at all. She was going insane because of him. After a few days, Nick's girlfriend comes to see him. They spend romantic time together and fall asleep at night. When they were asleep together, Addie sneaked into their room. When she sees them together like that, she gets so mad that she goes straight to her kitchen and start cutting vegetables in a very aggressive way. Nick wakes up because of that knocking sound. He runs straight to her and asks her to stop all that nonsense. Nick gets worried because of her aggressive behavior. He knew something is not right about her. One day his girlfriend goes to a room and keeps working in there. Addie locks that door and releases lots of bees inside from the ventilation so that she could die somehow. She doesn't die, but definitely gets to the hospital for a few days. One day she invites Nick to come to her horse riding competition, but he doesn't show up there. She gets so upset that she leaves that competition in the middle and goes straight to him wherever he was. She slaps him on the face, right in front of everyone. Nick didn't want to create a scene in front of those people. That's why he grabs her hand and takes her to the corner. Nick tells her that I am really done with you, so just stay out of my life. Addie keeps shouting at him and all of a sudden kisses him. But Nick just pushes her away and leaves. At evening when Nick goes home, a cop asks him to step out of his car. When he asks why, he says, Addie complained again here that you tried to seduce her. He gets arrested. When he looks at Addie, she had wounds on her face. She was pretending to cry in front of everyone. He couldn't do anything about those charges. He tried so hard to convince cops that I did not do anything to her, but even then, nobody believed him. After a while his lawyer gets him out on parole. One day Addie's friend come to see him and tell him, I know you didn't do anything to her, she is lying to everyone. Nick tells her, no I didn't, but nobody believes me, there is nothing I can do to convince people. She says Addie has a diary, in which she writes almost everything about her life. If we get that diary, maybe we could find something against her, and I can get it for you. Nick asks her not to do that, but still she goes in to Addie's room to help him. After a while he hears someone screaming like hell. Nick thought that she is in danger. That's why he runs to Addie's room to save her, but there he finds Addie instead. She says, I really love you. Whatever happened wrong in between us, I will fix everything again. Just tell me once that you love me. Nick asks her to move and start searching for that girl. Addie gets so mad that he tried to hit him with a rod. He fell straight on the ground from the balcony. All of a sudden her father comes back home. When she sees her father coming, she runs to her room. Nick gets up and starts searching for that girl again. When he finds her, he could not believe she was roped to a swing. When he was trying to untie her, Addie attacks him again, but this time he punches her so hard on the face that she passes out. When people finds out the truth about him, they set him free from all the charges and Addie was sent to a mental hospital for treatment. This story ends here. If you really liked the video, you can check more video by clicking on the screen. Please click the subscribe button and click bell icon for more interesting video like that.